Good morning. Good morning, wonderful people on this marvelous Monday. Hello, love of fit. Welcome. Welcome to this morning's broadcast on how to be consistent in commission sales. Your Tech Mama. Can't wait to hear what you sell, Your Tech Mama. Tell me what your products or services are and tell me where you're from. Good morning, love of fit. Welcome to the broadcast. Very good. If you guys want to take a screenshot of this, because I know you're going to see some other stuff. Good morning, STA. Welcome to the house. You know a whole bunch about this morning's subject. Networking. Good morning. Judy. Good morning. This will help you get your juices flowing on a Monday morning. Excellent. So let me flip this camera and let's rock and roll, shall we? And as always, I'm honored with all of your hearts. And if you hit the little Perry person, I'd be so honored. A Perry person because it's not really a Periscope man and it's not really a Periscope woman. So we have to be politically correct. So it's a Perry person. So thank you for sharing. I see some green hearts. For you regular followers, you know I love purple, gold, and green hearts. That's some fantastic Mardi Gras colors that gets me going. And so this morning we're going to talk about what's going on in the world of sales with salespeople, especially on a Monday morning right before Christmas. They could be starting to think, well, you know, nobody wants to buy. Everybody is just so busy right now, you know, for the holidays. And so you can get into some basically crap thinking where you're trying to justify not working in the month of December. Well, here's a secret. For whatever reason, the month of February and the month of December has always been good months for me. And yet February, it's only got 28 days, right, ladies? 28 days. So how is it that February has been such a good month? Well, today's topic has to do with staying consistent in sales. So if you're in commission sales, this is what this conversation is about. And so the first thing I want to start off with is I guess I should introduce myself, right? That might help. My name is Marvin LeBlanc. I am a sales coach. I am a business owner since 1978. I have 3 businesses that I happen to run with my team members. And so it is a fact that I'm also Delilah, tax returns come in February. So people's got some extra money. Delilah, that right there is a good idea from the standpoint that you might have a sales promotion around an event where you know that your clientele might have an excellent opportunity to have additional money. There's another lady on this broadcast. She is killer good. She's an expert in campaigns. She ran campaigns for decades for one of the world's largest makeup companies. So she understands the power of having a campaign. She also understands the power of keeping the people excited inside of a campaign. There's a reason why sales organizations have to have campaigns. It's not just to get the prospect fired up, but it's also to get their salespeople fired up about moving the product. So right here, one of the classes that I teach is called Building Marvelous Teams. Thanks for those hearts, ladies. Thanks so much, guys. So this workshop is called Building Marvelous Teams. And obviously, if your company or organization needs a checkup from the neck up and they need a funny but intense South Louisiana Cajun boy to rock their world, then I'm the guy, right? Especially those that follow me all the time. Good morning, Abby Bella. Abby Bella, I think you're new to the broadcast. My name is Marvin LeBlanc. I'm a South Louisiana Cajun boy, and this morning we're talking about being consistent in commission sales. So this is one of my handouts, keeping your daily focus. So one of the exercises that we do with the people to build their teams and to build their sales performance. Awesome, Abby Bella. Very good. That is excellent. I always like to see some good neighbors in the house. So a term that you may not heard before that you might want to write down is high value activities. This scope right now is for you. This scope is not for me. And so what I want you to do is take out your pencil and paper, and by the end of what we're going to develop here is going to be the trigger points that you need to be thinking about so that you can perform at the level you need to perform so that you can sell whatever volume of products or services that either your company requires or that you require because you set your own goals and you're your own entrepreneur. So here's where we're going. Well, Marvin, what is a high value activity? A high value activity is something that you have decided that today, come hell or high water, which is also the name of my Amazon best-selling book. But today, come hell or high water, I have to get these high-value activities done. Okay, so we made a decision that these are our high-value activities, and we made a decision that before we go to supper at 6 o'clock, and it's not lunch and dinner, okay? Jesus didn't go to the last dinner. He went to the last supper. That's another subject for another time. But what are your high-value activities? Give you an example. And also, if you have some high-value activities that you're thinking about, please share them at the bottom, okay? One could be, one of my high-value activities, Marvin, is I have to do a certain number of home demos. So you could be selling vacuum cleaners. You could be selling sound systems. I was on a scope yesterday with a sound system expert. Good morning, Bathsheba. Welcome back to the group. You could be selling a sound system. I had one of my team members. She had a home demo last week on an alarm system. Okay, Kevin Arrow, a great social media person from the UK, is in the room. Good morning, Kevin Arrow. All of you, if you want to find out a little bit more of who the good scopers are, you should follow Kevin Arrow. Okay, I know the guy. It's very easy for me to refer him. Another high-value activity was just done, Delilah, and that is, who are you referring each day? That's a high-value activity. In the same way of, who are you asking for a referral? How many times did I ask for a referral today is a high-value activity if you're in commission sales. So you look at how many you asked for, and you track down how many you received, so that you can know if you ask for 20 referrals and you average getting 20 referrals, well, you didn't get one referral for all 20 asked. You might have gotten 0 a couple of times, right? You might have gotten 2, all right? But what you do know is if you are a slave to tracking your numbers, which a lot of salespeople don't want to do, because that's where the science comes in, okay? It's not all about being persuasive, but if you know that every single time you ask for a referral, you're going to average getting 1, then why wouldn't that encourage you to ask for more and more referrals on a regular basis? See, if you don't keep up with your numbers, you don't even know where you're at in the process. So if I'm asking for a referral and I get 0, it doesn't bother me. Why? Because I know that if I do the right amount of activities, and these high value activities we're talking about are the only things you can control. Okay, you have to continue, depends what referral you're asking for. Absolutely. Also, you can earn referrals because you've already given great service that day to that person. So you can earn a referral or you can find a referral. Recently, I had someone who's in my Perry 10K collaborative group on Periscope. She referred one of my broadcasts to someone else that had never seen any of my broadcasts. One thing led to another, and last week I had a paid event because of this person's referral, because I had built up trust with this individual. She referred me to another individual that would never have discovered me. And from my home, I ended up doing a Skype session. Do you ask for different referrals depending on the relationship? Well, if I'm working with, let's say, my insurance profession, if I'm working with those people, I am asking for friends, neighbors, coworkers, and relatives that they work with, that they know, and that they trust. If I have a young couple, 29, 30 years old with 2 kids, then I also know that they probably associate with also young couples with kids, and that would be something, hey, Catchy, I'm so glad. I just was talking about you, my baby, and then there she is. Honestly, Catchy is someone that you honestly need to follow. Thanks for the hearts. Please keep hitting that little Periscope, man, because I'm close to, I think I'm close to 1,000 followers, guys. I think I'm close to 1,000 followers. So when we are asking for that referral, most of the times I know that I've already earned the referral. So I could ask something like, John, have you been happy with the service that we've provided today? John says yes. I already knew John was going to say yes. And then I would ask them, John, if you feel comfortable, if there was a way that you could help us share this same service with other people that you know, your friends, neighbors, coworkers, and relatives, and I promise we won't be a pest, would you work with us on that? Okay, so it's very inoffensive. It's not up in your face. And John says, well, yeah, fine. And so I might say to John, just right there in your cell phone, there's tons of people that automatically are right there that you probably talk to most every day. Is that right? John says, yes. I said, John, who might we help? That first 2 or 3 names that comes up, who might we help in that group? Now, if you knew me and you knew that I had already worked with you through a presentation or I solved the problem for you, if we have that level of trust, you're not going to have a problem if I handle you gently. But I'm not really getting all up in your face. I'm asking those referrals from people that already have a positive vibe. A long time ago, I made a decision to be involved in what I call the psychology of permission-based marketing. And so the truth is, I pretty much only want to work with people that want to work with me. If you love me and you have my vibe, then let's work together. That's kind of how I see it. And so that's how it works for me. I give first. Okay, they get an understanding of who I am, and then I probe to see if they want to move forward. And if they want to move forward, great, we move forward. If it's no, is it no just for not now? Okay, it's almost no, it's almost never no forever. Okay, unless it was a really negative conversation, it's almost never no forever. The key is to have a system in place where if you told me, no, not right now, my money's really tight because of the Christmas holidays, my husband just got laid off, and I say to you, oh, Sarah, I really understand that. Sarah, is there any reason why I couldn't follow up with you if I promised to be nice, if I couldn't follow up with you again 3 or 4 months down the road? And then Sarah says, no, Marvin, that's fine. Okay, well, there's no hard feelings. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to pin that in my computer, and I'm going to be ethically persistent. Write that down, ethically persistent. And then I'm going to call Sarah at 3 or 4 months and say, hey, Sarah, the last time we talked, you were just heading into Christmas. How did that Christmas go? Because I know it was kind of tough there with your husband getting laid off and whatnot. How are y'all doing? And then I'm going to let the conversation process and let it go as it wants. Any other questions before I go to the next item and before y'all throw up some more hearts? You know, if you just tap for 2 minutes straight, you're probably going to tap out about 500 hearts. And man, does that does a body good. It does my heart good. Okay, what's another high value activity you need to track? I already said it could be doing a home demo. I already said it could be the number of referrals you asked for. You might have to have a home show, which is a little different than a demo. So you see a lot of that in direct sales companies. You see a lot of that with multi-level marketing companies where you need to sit with people. How many of them are you doing? Not just, oh, well, I set 5 shows. No, no, no. That's fine. But how many of the shows actually ended up happening? Because if you set 5 shows and you only do 2 shows and your goal was to do 5 shows, then you need to be setting 10 shows. You need to be setting 10 shows. That's the key to being consistent in sales, is to wake up every morning and work through your playbook of high value activities. Maybe part of your playbook on high value activities is you do old school, where you actually take a pen and paper and write out thank you cards or appreciation cards. Okay, so the more we've moved to technology, the further we've gotten away from a handwritten card. So thoughtfully write out a handwritten card. You could have what I call an advocate group. An advocate group might be 25 to 50 people that you love them and they love you, and that you have decided that once every 30 to 45 days you have to reach out and touch them. Well, that could be your high value activity. Did I write out 3 cards today? Did I thank someone who's been a service to me today? That could be a high value activity. Okay, here's another key. Now, all the internet stuff that I do, that's all important. But it is still important to have your face physically in front of the face of another person in the form of a network function. Now, a network function, normally people think of Rotary and Kiwanis and the Chamber of Commerce and all that, which is all good stuff. But for me, a networking function could be 2 or 3 of us just sitting down having a cup of coffee. That's a networking function. If you can get your face in front of the face of someone who hasn't seen you yet. So if I was to invite you to lunch, I might also tell you, hey, Ketchy, when we go to lunch, could you go ahead and bring a friend of yours over? And all 3 of us can have lunch. It's amazing what can happen. Yeah, I'll bring a friend along that can tag along. That friend might have some amazing insights, and if y'all wouldn't get together to drink a cup of coffee or to, a small bread, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You just go and hang out, because here's the deal. I love Periscope, but to be honest with you, I love each of you that's in the room more, and quite frankly, I wish we were all in a room right now, either drinking a cup of coffee or, if it was lunchtime, eating a bowl of gumbo, where I could see you and hold you and hug you. Okay, because that's still better than being on Periscope. Okay, that's just my South Louisiana upbringing. I want to be close to you. I want to hug you. I want to see you. It's like right now, I can see all the great comments and I see the lovely hearts, but you get to see this ugly face, but I don't get to see your pretty one. And so I'd rather see you face to face. Okay, here's a next very important high value activity. Okay. How many fact-finding conversations, thanks, throw this up for me, Ketchy, if you will. How many fact-finding conversations are you going to have today? Why are you calling it fact-finding conversations? Well, because there's 2 kinds of conversations in my mind. There's fact-finding conversations, and then there's decision conversations. Hey, Finn, welcome to the group. Finn, please tell me who you are, and so I can say hello and acknowledge you. Today we're talking about how to be much more consistent in making commissions in sales. How many fact-finding conversations are you going to have today? So an example, would y'all like an example of a fact-finding conversation? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. Denmark, wow, Denmark is in the house. Okay, Ketchy wants an example of a fact-finding conversation. So Ketchy might run into somebody at a grocery store. She may not actually even have a chance to sit down with the person, but she could start right then and there and have a fact-finding conversation. So don't think that every conversation or every appointment has to be an organized sit-down. It could be at a grocery store where you, hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. And then what are you doing? And then what am I doing? And so you're starting to deliver facts on each other. And if you're in the business of sales, okay, every opportunity to interact with an individual is a sales opportunity. You don't have to pounce on them, okay, but you can find out where they're at. And a lot of times they'll say, yeah, I have that, and you know, and my guy for that is terrible, or I don't even know who he is. And so that's going to give you some signals right away. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter what signals they're giving. It doesn't matter if they're negative or they're really happy with what they have or they're really sad. It doesn't really matter, because in my point system, I know that I'm in that fact-finding conversation, and I know based on science and hard-ass work for 30 years that if I do the activities, the results will come. Did y'all catch that? If I do the activities, the result will come. Now, don't get all creative and try to, well, no, I'm going to do it a different way. No, you're not a sales professional. You got to keep up with your numbers. Everything is a score. Okay, it's all about the score, so you got to keep score. Matter of fact, the other reason you need to keep score is when you do well, if you're not keeping score, you don't even know that you really did that good. Okay, so keep score. It can be fun. On a Monday morning, before it gets to the holidays, it can be fun. Okay, so one high-value activity is how many, if I do the activities, the results will come. I promise all of you out there, if you do the activities, the results will come. All of you right now have enough. Do y'all get that? Right now, you watching this, well, no, Marvin, you don't understand. I'm going through this. I'm going through that. I don't have the right product knowledge. None of that's true. You can still get where you need to go. You have enough. Inside you right now, you have enough. If you can actually watch a Periscope broadcast, which, by the way, I'm not even at 90 broadcasts yet, okay? 6-7 weeks ago, I had never even heard of it, okay? And I'm not a techie guy, as y'all can see. If I can do this and you are already watching this, you have enough, okay? Now it's just a matter of writing down the high-value activities, waking up in the morning, putting on your clothes when you don't necessarily feel motivated, and starting your high-value activities. You list out your points on what you decided that's important, and then it's kind of like a grocery list. If you go to the grocery store and you got 10 items on the list, okay, you're going to stay until you get all 10 items filled. Well, what I am suggesting is the same thing in sales. You decided what your daily focus is, okay? You've written out your daily activities, okay? And so you're going to work through your grocery list of high-value sales activities, and whenever you finish them, you go home. Now, if you drag butt in the middle of the day, or you spend time gossiping on negative crap, and then you don't get to your points, and then it's time to go home, no, you can't go home. Really? Why can't I go home? Well, you decided to spend an hour talking to somebody negative, and so it threw you off on your numbers. So if you go home, you failed. So now you got to stay past 6 o'clock at night, because my goal is for everybody to be home at 6 o'clock at supper and with family or those that you love. Okay? And so you work your high-value activities. Here's a key. This is important. Write this down. Well, what's another high-value activity, Marvin? Is this what you got to do to be great? Yes. I didn't invent the stuff. I just learned. Great scope as always, but I got to run. Go see you later. Hey, go work on those goals, Catchy. I'll catch you on the flip-flop. The most important high-value activity is today's closed business. Today's closed business. What did I close today? So if you got 20 business days in a month, okay, the average month has about 20 business days. You lose all kind of Saturdays and Sundays. It's about 20. Well, if you said, I need to generate $20,000 in revenue, okay, then between now and supper time, you need to generate $1,000 in sales. That is called periodization. What did I get done today? Okay, because if you drag butt and you let a lot of stuff where you're not doing your high value activities today, you let a lot of stuff get in the way, then tomorrow, oh God, it's so heavy. Now I have what? $2,000 of sales to get done by 5 o'clock. And then it becomes too heavy. Why? Because you didn't do what you needed to do today to individually execute. So, the last thing is, what is my closing ratio? So if you're doing a home demo, if you're doing a financial planning appointment, if you're out selling children's books, whatever you're doing, what is my closing ratio and what's the average amount of revenue I generate on every appointment? Wouldn't that be an important thing to know? I think that would be an important thing to know. So that's my lesson for this morning on this Monday morning. That should give you a very good plan. You can write that on one little sheet of paper. It doesn't have to be a huge fancy Excel spreadsheet. And the other thing that I'm going to give you is a link. And the link is to my Marvelous Leadership Quotes. This is free. And that is, you go to www. Can someone scribe this maybe at the bottom? www.marvinleblance/LIS. That's www.marvinleblance/LIS. So you can pick up a free little download there of Marvelous Leadership Quotes that can help you inspire yourself to do the high value activities so that you can earn what you want in sales and be home for supper at 6 p.m. I'm Marvin LeBlanc from South Louisiana, and as always, I wish you peace, I wish you love, and I wish you gumbo. Have a great Monday. Peace, love, and gumbo. Bye-bye, guys.